I was reading a bedtime story to my stepdaughter when my mother-in-law burst in and snatched the book from my hands. Don't confuse her. You're not her real mother, she snapped. My husband took her side, saying, she just doesn't want traditions rewritten. A week later, I found my stepdaughter's family tree project. My name was missing, replaced with a photo of her dad's ex, and labeled Mom. I married Adam 3 years ago. He was a widower with a little girl named Lily. Her mom, Sarah, died in a car crash when Lily was 4. By the time I came into the picture, Lily was 5 and quiet all the time. She'd follow her dad around like a shadow. She didn't talk much, and she never smiled. I met Adam at a parent support group my sister dragged me to. I wasn't a parent, just a teacher. But he and I talked. A lot. He was kind, patient. He loved his daughter more than anything. We started seeing each other 6 months later, and I didn't meet Lily until another 6 after that. Even then, I didn't try to act like her mom. I read her books. I let her draw in my sketchbook. I made her lunch and helped with her hair. That's it. Little things. I didn't want to rush her. She started calling me Maddie instead of Miss Madison after about a year. I thought we were good. Adam's mother, Sylvia, hated me from day one. The first time I met her, she shook my hand and said, Sarah was a real mother, not a placeholder. That was at a brunch. In public. Adam brushed it off. She doesn't mean it like that. She's just old-fashioned. I let it slide. I let a lot of things slide. Sylvia would bring up Sarah constantly. She'd tell Lily stories, show her photo albums, even keep Sarah's old clothes in a chest in the living room. I didn't object. Sarah was Lily's mom. It wasn't my place to take that away. But it wasn't about remembering Sarah. It was about erasing me. It all came to a head on a Thursday night. Lily was 7 by then. We had a bedtime routine. Pajamas. Brush teeth. Pick a book. That night, she chose The Paper Bag Princess again. It was her favorite. I did the dragon voice like always. She was curled up under the blankets, laughing. Then the door slammed open. Sylvia stormed in without knocking, eyes blazing. She marched straight up to the bed and yanked the book from my hands so hard that the pages tore. Don't confuse her, she snapped. You're not her real mother. Lily froze. My mouth opened, but nothing came out. Adam was behind her. He didn't raise his voice. Didn't look angry. Just tired. She just doesn't want traditions rewritten, he said. That's what he said. Like it was nothing. Lily cried herself to sleep that night. The next morning, I asked Adam to talk. He said I was overreacting. That Sylvia just wanted to keep Sarah's memory alive for Lily. That I shouldn't take it personally. I asked him, do you think I'm confusing her? He didn't answer. A week later, Lily had a school project. Her family tree. I offered to help. She smiled but said, Grandma already helped me. I said okay. Tried not to sound hurt. On Friday, I was changing the sheets in the guest room and saw a rolled-up poster behind the dresser. I didn't even mean to find it. I unrolled it on the bed. There was Lily in the middle, drawn with stick figure arms and glitter. Her dad was above her. And above him, Sylvia and her husband. Then I saw it. A photo of Sarah, cut out from one of the old albums. Labeled Mom in bold purple crayon. There was no mention of me. Nothing. I stood there for a long time. I didn't cry. I didn't even get mad right away. I felt like I didn't exist. Like all those nights holding her hand during nightmares, or showing her how to braid hair, or sewing up her torn teddy bear. None of it happened. I put the poster back, went to the bathroom, locked the door. I stared at myself in the mirror. My eyes looked empty. That night, I didn't say anything. I made dinner. I watched Lily eat spaghetti and giggle. I watched Adam scroll through his phone. I pretended nothing was wrong. But inside, I was planning. I didn't want to explode. I didn't want to scream. I wanted to know. I wanted to see it clearly. Was this all just Sylvia, or was Adam okay with erasing me too? So I started watching, listening, and what I found made my stomach turn. I started keeping notes on my phone. Just short things. Like when Sylvia would whisper things to Lily when she thought I wasn't around. Once, I overheard her say, "Your real mommy would never let you wear shoes like that." Another time, "Your daddy only married her so you wouldn't grow up alone." Lily started pulling away. It was small at first. She stopped hugging me goodnight. Then she stopped asking for bedtime stories. She barely looked at me at breakfast. I asked Adam if he noticed. He shrugged. "She's just growing up."
No.
That wasn't it. I watched him, too. How he acted when Sylvia was around. How his shoulders tensed. How his voice changed. He laughed more around her, but never with me anymore. One night, I found Sylvia in the kitchen going through my mail. Not even subtle, she had my name on the envelopes right there in front of her. I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "Just making sure nothing dangerous is coming into my granddaughter's house." I told Adam. He said, "She's just being careful." I told him I was tired of being treated like a stranger in my own home. He said, "This was Lily's and Sarah's home first. You came after." That hit harder than anything. I started looking at my wedding photos again. Just me and Adam at the courthouse. No family. No big party. Just quick rings, a rushed kiss, and back to life. Why did I ignore the signs? I spent 2 weeks planning what to do next. I wasn't going to scream or cry or beg to be accepted. I was going to prove exactly what Sylvia was doing, to Adam, to Lily's teacher, to everyone. It started with a meeting. I called Lily's teacher and asked to talk. Mrs. Carmichael. She liked me. We'd spoken before about Lily's reading. I told her the truth. About the family tree project. About how I'd been left out. I didn't try to play victim. I just said, I don't want to take her mother's place. But I've raised her for 3 years, and I can't just pretend I'm not part of her life. Mrs. Carmichael looked uncomfortable. She nodded slowly. Then she said, Lily told us she didn't have a stepmom. That her dad never remarried. I blinked. What? She showed me Lily's bio from a project. It listed her mom as Sarah, passed away, and her dad as Adam, not married. I thanked her, left, and sat in my car shaking. That night, I went home and pulled out every photo I'd taken with Lily over the last 3 years. Birthdays, trips to the zoo, Christmas mornings. I printed them all out at Walgreens. Then I made my own project. I bought a blank scrapbook. I labeled it, Our Time Together. Each page had a photo and a short note. First time she read a full book by herself. The day she got her first gold star in class. The time she asked me to be the tooth fairy. I put it all in. Then I waited for the right moment. It came on a Sunday. Sylvia had taken Lily out for ice cream. Adam was in the garage fixing a shelf that didn't need fixing. I sat at the kitchen table with the scrapbook. When they came back, I called Lily over. I handed her the book and said, I made this for you. She opened it and started flipping through. Her little face went pale, then red. She didn't say a word. Sylvia hovered behind her, glaring. What's this? She asked sharp. I said, Proof. Sylvia tried to snatch the book, but I held it firm. Don't confuse her, she snapped again. This time I was ready. I said, You already did. I looked at Adam. You told a school you're not married? You let them think I'm no one. His mouth opened, then closed. Lily looked at him. Is that true? Sylvia cut in. Sweetheart, your mommy is the only woman who matters. And then Lily, quiet little Lily, stood up. She said, Maddie matters too. Silence. Sylvia's face twisted, but she didn't speak. I looked at Adam. You let this happen. You let her erase me. I won't stay invisible. He said nothing. So I walked out. And I took the scrapbook with me. I didn't go far. I checked into a cheap hotel on the edge of town. One with buzzing lights and paper-thin walls. I needed time to think.
To breathe.
Adam didn't call that night. Neither did Lily. But the next morning, I got a text from an unknown number. You think you're clever. You won't steal her from us. No name. No context. But I knew it was Sylvia. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. Instead, I went to a lawyer. Not to sue anyone, but to find out my rights. I'd been Lily's stepmom for 3 years. I'd signed medical forms, picked her up from school, paid for her piano lessons. Did that mean anything? Turns out, it kind of did. In Colorado, where we lived, if a step-parent has taken on a consistent parenting role for a period of time, and if the court sees it as, in the child's best interest, there's room to petition for allocation of parental responsibilities. I wasn't trying to take Lily away. I just wanted legal standing. I wanted Sylvia to know I wasn't powerless. My lawyer said, "It's rare, but it happens. Especially if the other parent, your husband, is failing to protect your role." She gave me a list of things to collect. Texts, photos, emails, proof of parenting. And I had it all. But something else happened that I didn't expect. Lily showed up. It was a Tuesday afternoon. I was still in the hotel, flipping through photos when there was a knock at the door. It was her. Adam was standing behind her, stiff, holding her backpack. I let them in. Lily didn't say much at first. She just handed me a folded-up piece of paper. It was a drawing. Me and her. Sitting on the couch reading The Paper Bag Princess. Underneath, in big block letters, "Maddie is my other mom." I looked up. Adam was quiet. "I didn't know," he said finally. "I didn't realize how bad it had gotten." I said, "You let it get bad." He nodded. Then he dropped a bomb. "Sylvia took Lily to a counselor last week. She told the counselor I was an unfit parent for letting you interfere. She wants custody." I blinked. "Of Lily? She's not even her legal guardian." He nodded. "Doesn't matter. She's filing something called a kinship petition." That changed everything. Now, it wasn't just about respect or hurt feelings. It was legal. Sylvia was trying to take Lily from both of us. And she'd done this before. That night, Adam told me something I'd never heard before. After Sarah died, Sylvia tried to get custody of Lily back then too. Said Adam was emotionally unfit to raise her alone. Tried to bring up his old DUI from when he was in college. He'd fought it. Won. But barely. And now she was doing it again. Only this time, trying to use me as the proof that he was letting outsiders confuse Lily. I couldn't believe how far she was willing to go. But now I had something she didn't expect. I had Lily's voice. And I had proof. Years of it. Adam moved into a rental house 2 blocks away from his mom's. Not ideal, but he said it was temporary. I didn't move back in. Not yet. I needed to be sure he was actually willing to fight this time. We started documenting everything. Sylvia's texts. Her attempts to pick Lily up from school without telling Adam. The time she sent Lily home with pamphlets on grief confusion. And then one afternoon, we got a letter from Sylvia's lawyer. She was officially petitioning the court for joint custody of Lily. Said Adam was emotionally compromised and I was a dangerous influence confusing the child's emotional identity. That was it. I told my lawyer, "Let's go to war." We filed our response fast. My lawyer included over 30 pages of documentation. Photos, texts, school notes, even letters from Lily's teachers and her pediatrician, all confirming that I had been a consistent part of her daily life. Stable, caring, involved. More importantly, we attached a request for a guardian ad litem, an independent child advocate, to be assigned to the case. We wanted someone neutral to speak with Lily. When Sylvia got wind of that, she lost it. She showed up at Adam's rental house uninvited. She was screaming before she even got to the porch. "You're letting that woman destroy our family." I stepped outside. "Our family," I said. "You mean the one you're trying to break apart?" She turned to me, wild-eyed. "You don't belong here. You never did. You're just a fill-in until Lily grows up and forgets you." Adam stepped between us. "You need to leave," he told her. "Right now." Sylvia narrowed her eyes and hissed something I'll never forget. "You think that little scrapbook gives you power? You don't get to rewrite history." But here's the thing she didn't get. I wasn't rewriting history. I was preserving it. The part of it she wanted to burn. 2 weeks later, We met the guardian ad litem, a quiet, observant woman named Maria. She met with Adam, then me, then spent 2 hours alone with Lily. What she wrote in her report turned the tide. She said that Lily showed clear emotional bonding with both her father and me, that she referred to me as a second mom, that she expressed anxiety when asked about her grandmother, saying, "Grandma says I can't love Maddie and Mommy at the same time." That line made me cry. When the court date came, Sylvia showed up in a gray suit and fake tears. Her lawyer painted her as a devoted grandmother trying to rescue her granddaughter from emotional confusion. But then the judge asked to hear from the guardian ad litem. Maria stood and read her summary.
Calm.
Factual. Blunt. And then, with the courtroom silent, she read a quote straight from Lily. "I have one mom in heaven, and one who reads to me now." Sylvia turned red. Her hands clenched. She muttered under her breath. The judge raised an eyebrow. "Do you have something to say, Mrs. Langley?" Sylvia snapped. She stood and pointed at me, yelling, "She tricked Lily. She's poisoned her mind. That child needs to remember her real mother, not play house with some second-rate replacement." Gasps filled the courtroom. Even her own lawyer looked horrified. The judge banged the gavel once.
Twice.
"That's enough," he said sharply. That outburst changed everything. The judge denied Sylvia's petition immediately. But he didn't stop there. He issued a protective order. Sylvia was barred from unsupervised contact with Lily. Any visits would now be strictly monitored by a professional supervisor. Adam was pale when we left the courtroom. "She's going to hate us for this," he said. I looked at him. She already did. After the court ruling, things went quiet. Sylvia didn't show up at our door. She didn't call. She didn't send her usual passive-aggressive texts. For a week, I felt peace. Real peace. Like I could finally breathe. Lily started smiling again. She asked me to read to her every night. We picked up the paper bag princess where we'd left off. She didn't flinch at the dragon voice anymore. She giggled, tucked under her blanket, safe. But peace never lasts long with people like Sylvia. One morning, I opened my email and found something strange. It was a message from the local parenting Facebook group. A woman I barely knew sent me screenshots. Sylvia had been posting. She wrote a long post accusing me of manipulating Lily, calling me a fraud who wormed her way into a grieving man's life, saying I forced Lily to call me mom and turned a sweet, innocent child against her own blood. There were comments. Dozens. Some defending me. Some not. One even said, if what she says is true, Maddie should be in jail. I saw red. I wasn't about to let her rewrite the truth again, not online. Not in whispers. Not behind my back. I printed the posts. Every single one. My lawyer filed for defamation and breach of court orders the same day. That protective order? It included no harassment, online or otherwise. Sylvia had broken it. She was served the next morning. According to the process server, she screamed so loud the neighbors came out. Then came the fallout. Sylvia's church, the one she bragged about every Sunday, kicked her off the family counseling committee. The school stopped letting her volunteer. Her neighbors started talking. Gossip travels fast in a small town. She tried to play the victim again. Said we ruined her name.
No, Sylvia.
You did that yourself. But the part that still guts me?
Adam.
He apologized. Over and over. Said he was blind, scared of losing his mom, too afraid to stand up for me sooner. He cried in the kitchen one night and said, "You are the one holding this family together, not me." I believed him, but I didn't move back in right away. I needed him to prove he'd changed. And, to his credit,
he did.
He stood up to Sylvia every time she tried to call. He showed up to every parenting meeting at Lily's school with me. He corrected people when they called me stepmom. Said, she's Lily's other mom. Period. It took 6 months before I agreed to come home. Lily was the happiest I'd seen her. And for the first time I was too. The scrapbook still sits on our bookshelf. Every once in a while, Lily pulls it out and flips through the pages. She added new ones. Her first piano recital. The Halloween where we all dressed up as storybook characters. And one page that made me cry the hardest. Just a hand-drawn picture of me and her. Underneath, she wrote, "Real moms show up every day, even when it hurts." I didn't get revenge by shouting. I didn't win by being cruel. I won by being there. By never walking away, even when I was shoved aside. Sylvia tried to erase me. But she forgot something. Ink fades. But love, real love, stays.